Good afternoon, everybody. I'm getting the signal that it's 3 o'clock, ready to start, so we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate the opportunity to come in front of you and kind of give you a little bit of update on the community. A lot of things happening, a lot of things that have happened over the last couple of months. We'll review that as we go through the slide presentation. But how many of you are excited for college football to be back? So remind me again, who's the UNC fans? Okay. Are we liking Bill Belichick? Or... No? Okay. So who are the Dukies? Okay. Oh, just a few that will admit it during football season. Right? If it's basketball season, you see many more hands up. Yeah, Duke. Well, I'm excited. I'm a big Michigan fan, and we already have one loss, so we'll get better as the year goes on, right? We'll get better.
Wake Forest.
Wake Forest. Okay. Wake Forest. Yeah. Okay. NC State. Who's state? Okay. All right. Got some brave souls that raised their hand for that one. I just want to share, it's not in my presentation, but I want to share, we had a great presentation by the Elon basketball team, the coaches, and 3 players came by. It was fantastic. I had a great time. I learned a lot, and I know a lot of you that attended really enjoyed them, and just what tremendous young men that were here, weren't they? Yeah, absolutely impressive young men. Gene walked away with a signed basketball from the coach. A lot of us got t-shirts. Who won tickets? Did anybody? You won some tickets, some basketball games. And I know we talked to Gina and the team. We're going to get some groups together to go support the Elon basketball team. Because just as a reminder, Rachel, our director of nursing, her husband is one of their coaches and general managers. So they talked a lot about recruiting and how players are being paid, revenue share from the universities, and also from the NIL collectives that are raising money, boosters are raising money, and now I guess legally paying kids in college to play sports. So very interesting. So on today's agenda is we're just going to give you Nikki's going to talk about a financial update. I'll jump in for some operational highlights, talk about resident satisfaction surveys that are coming up, and then just really identify some of the goals that we have over the next few months as we really look to close the year out. And it's hard for me to even say that. We're coming to the end of the third quarter. It's incredible. Time flew this year. So that's what we're going to talk about, and also answer any questions you may have as well. So first things first, I'm going to give it to Nikki to talk about our financials through August.
Thanks, Mark. Well, good afternoon. So Mark asked about college football, but did anybody watch the Tennessee-Georgia game this weekend?
Yeah.
That was a great game. So good. I mean, I don't really have a dog in the fight. I was pulling for Tennessee. I was really upset to see them lose, but it was a really great game. So, okay, so for this year, you guys have been to any meetings or board meetings or anything. You've heard us talk about our overall performance this year. I want to talk a little bit because a lot of you are going to look at this and be like, wow, that's a really big number, Nikki. But we had budgeted for an operating net income of $677,000, and through August? Yeah. Through August, we're actually at 4.9. I want to talk about where that 4.9 came from. At the last resident council, I believe, I spoke to you all that in January of 2024, we applied for what was called the Employee Retention Credit. So during COVID, the government had a lot of different programs. Whether they were ran well, that's a different opinion. But they had a lot of programs that as a community, we tried to take advantage of every possible program that we could to help bring in revenue or cash to our community. And the biggest piece of that was, there was a large part was to cover COVID expenses, But another large piece of that was to retain staff during COVID, okay? So we were fortunate back then, and then last January when we applied for the employee retention credit, there were two different ways you could qualify. There was a revenue loss or there was a government shutdown. And you had to prove one of those two scenarios in order to qualify for the employee retention credit. In June of 25, so we applied in January of 24. In June of 25, we actually received payment on the employee retention credit. There was no communication, there was no, you don't qualify, you're denied, you just check the mail every day and hope a check came. Literally. So we were fortunate enough to receive $2.8 million from the employee retention credit, and we've used that money to put back into our investment accounts where we pulled down from 21, 22, and 23, where we lost about $5 million over those years. You guys have heard me talk about bond covenants before. We have two covenants that we test at the end of, we test every quarter, but the final test is as of 12/31. One of those covenants tests our cash against expenses. These funds are actually allowed to be used in that calculation. The other calculation that we do actually tests our revenue against our expenses, and it is not allowed to be used in that one, which is very unfortunate. But it also has allowed us to be able to kind of invest back into those investment funds that we did have to draw down on over the course of 3 to 3.5 years. Any questions about that? This just breaks it down a little bit by levels of care. So independent living is exceeding budget. If you guys have listened to any marketing updates, you have heard that we are 97% occupied, 100% sold. So that number is over budget because our census is actually over what we budgeted. So there are more of you living here than we actually budgeted for this year, okay? In the health center, we're over budget. We've worked really hard in our care center to maximize our billing and what's called MDS. So how do we code all of our skilled stays, making sure that we are doing our nursing evaluations and things like that. So that they're actually running probably closer to budget, but because of some of the other steps that we've implemented with MDS and things, they are actually exceeding revenue. Assisted living is short on revenue. However, if you remember back in March, I had a conversation with you all regarding free care days and that they would be allowed to be used in assisted living and or memory care. At that time, we went back and adjusted for anyone who had transitioned to assisted living or memory care to account for those free care days, and that is why you see a loss of revenue there. Okay? Any questions on revenue? Expenses. We are actually running under expenses this year, which I give a huge kudos to our leadership team. They've worked really hard to manage their budgets, to work with their vendors, to bid out different things in their departments, whether it's chemicals and supplies, to make sure that we are doing everything that we can to be fiscally responsible on the expense side, because that's the one area that we have more control over. So you can see here that all of our departments are running under. I will say the health center is running under. That's been because we've had some staffing turnover there. So even with our agency, we're running under, but we're working really hard to make sure that that staffing level is actually running on budget, and we get rid of an agency. Any questions on expenses? Any questions about financials? You guys are easy today. So this is just another viewpoint of what you can actually see. And again, if you take out 2.8, and there's some interest on that, so if you take out $3 million, we're actually running about $1 million over, which if you looked back before, a lot of that comes from that independent living and that health center piece. And actually, the other large portion of that comes from expense control, because we are significantly under on expenses. Some things are some things that we budgeted for that we ended up not having to spend the money on, which is always a good place, a good situation to be in. But the team has done a really good job of trying to bid out their vendors to get the best cost that we can have here. All right. You're gonna do that.
Yeah. All right. And so with occupancy, and I think this is still current, it seems to be changing every single day. Independent living is currently occupied at 204 out of the total 210 residences, 97%. Assisted living is 32 out of the 36 available apartments, that's 89%. Health center is 78 out of the available 86, 91%. So as a campus, we are occupied at 95%. So wonderful, it's the highest it's been since I arrived in 2018. And independent living is actually sold to 99%. So Debbie and the team continue to do a great job and growing that waiting list, which is what today?
145.
145 seniors that are on a waiting list to move to Whitestone. That's amazing. And so there's a lot of different, obviously, areas or residences that they're looking to move into, but 145 seniors on a waiting list. And the current available is one villa and one residential apartment, which we all know there's a long waiting list for villas, and it takes a little bit of time to go through those waiting lists for prospects to come in and look at the villa, look at the location, and decide if that's the one that they want. So that's the process that they are going through as a villa opens up. Okay? And then just one residential apartment available in our Bennett building. Any questions about occupancy? All right, next I want to provide some highlights, a review or update over a lot of the operational items that have happened over the last quarter, really since the last time we talked. There's been a lot of great activity on campus, and I just want to go through a few of these. More recently, we did a little refresh in the Bennett corridor on the second floor, and we're going to continue to go through the corridors and do a refresh throughout that building. We continue to look at opportunities for installing automatic door openers. I know there's a few that we've talked about in some of the committee meetings, but we did make some progress this year, or last few months, and install some of those. The Care and Wellness Center generator, which is a huge project for Joel especially. And now, because of the installation of that new generator, the entire Care and Wellness Center is fully operable if we have an outage with Duke Power. And Joel, for how long can we use generator power? How big is the tank?
7 days.
7 days. So this right here is the diesel fuel tank. We have enough fuel in that tank to run at full capacity for 7 days. And we have a contract with a very local vendor that'll come and fill it up if need be in the case of an emergency or an extended emergency. We've also, Joel's been working to get rid of a lot of the trip hazards around campus. So I'm not sure that we have any yet outstanding. We've done so much of that work already the last couple months. But if we identify it, we'll take care of it. Leonard, who has also done a great job for us, has bought some new floor care equipment and has a new floor care program. And Nikki talked about, vetting our vendors and just going and trying to find more opportunity to save money and maybe bring a better product to campus. Leonard has also changed out our chemicals on campus, and now we're utilizing one vendor for all of those, which produces savings for our community and do a great job. The new freezer and cooler for independent living has been installed. We're just waiting on inspections to occur, so that's going to give Betsy and Chef Eric more opportunity to keep more fresh items up close to the main kitchen. And since our expansion, we've had a need for additional cooler and freezer space, so we're very happy to get that project done. And another one of Joel's favorite projects was that ductwork in the dining room. It was unfortunate, and I do apologize for the inconvenience it had on everybody, but now that won't be a problem anymore because all of that ductwork has been insulated, so we should not get any more dripping under the ceiling. Just a few more. Betsy has introduced the chef's table, and hopefully, has anybody signed up for the next one? I think is this Friday.
Thursday. Or is it Friday? Friday.
Just one person in here that signed up?
All filled up.
Yeah, it is.
All
A
filled
couple
up.
people, yep, that filled up like that. And I know the next opportunity is going to be when, Betsy?
It'll be October.
In October. So stay tuned for more, and we're going to try to continue to make that happen for you all. I think everybody enjoyed it the last time, and we'll enjoy it for this chef's table as well. We were able to secure enough donations to provide 43 book bags and supplies to kids of our employees here on campus. So we're very happy to do that. It's something that Tracy implemented years ago, and so we continue to support our employees any way that we can. Chef's demonstrations at the Food and Beverage Committee, I think, have been well received. And then also, in the past couple of months, we've had the person-centered care training by Sharon McGuire of Life Care Services, and that's something that we as a team and Josh and Rachel continue to keep in mind when we're establishing goals moving forward. And then we also installed the nurse call system in the Care Wellness Center, which also enabled us to have an escalation system for pagers that our staff wear. So what happens is if a call has gone for more than 5 minutes, now the page will go to the nurse and she can respond. If it goes more than 10 minutes, it goes to the nursing supervisors and so on and so forth. So I think it has helped us to drastically reduce our response time to those call lights because more and more people are involved in answering those calls. And so I know that it's something that the team talks about every day in their daily stand-up meeting, but our goal is 5 minutes or less on our call response. Something that Campus Care Alliance has recommended that we do in our healthcare settings, which is use identification bracelets, and that's something that Josh and team are actually going to be implementing this week. And so it will be voluntary, but it's going to be offered to everybody admitted to either the Care Wellness Center or assisted living starting this week. Okay. And last but not least, raised planter beds, thanks to the Wright's grandson, Jay. I think those were a wonderful addition to our campus, and I know there were a lot of residents that were able to enjoy that this year. Now, I know this is a controversial topic, Wi-Fi, but I think we've been able to take a few steps forward this year, and I know that currently we are having some issues within the interior buildings that Nikki and William are working hard with single digits. But I just want to point out that thanks to Nikki's efforts, we did get approved for running that fiber to all of the villas and the cottages, which is going to eliminate the outdated system that's currently in place, which causes the in and out, the outages. So that project we're looking to get that started the last quarter of this year and finish it up first of next year. Okay. Couple other updates, or new additions, I should say, to the team. A lot of new additions to our clinical team over the past couple of months, starting with Rachel, our Director of Nursing, Amanda, who is our Assistant Director of Nursing, and Ginger, our Assisted Living Manager. So now essentially we have a full clinical supervisory team to help oversee the care that's being provided in both the Care Wellness Center and Assisted Living. And all three have already made incredible observations and implementation of a lot of their new ideas, so we're very excited for the future there. And this may be fresh off the presses, But you guys remember Marlene, and she's sitting back there in the back corner, right? Marlene was an intern in our Care and Wellness Center this summer. And at the very end of her internship, she made a very strong proposal to Josh, myself, and Tracy. And that proposal was to come on board in a new position called the Resident Relations Specialist. And so I'm happy to announce that Marlene is now a member of the Whitestone team in that position. So as you can see up here, her new position is really going to focus on being a resident advocate and just improving the overall experience of all of our residents in the healthcare setting here on campus. So we're very excited to see what she's going to bring in that setting. Also, our health and wellness team, our navigator team, they were able to receive a gold level in regards to how LCS scores communities that have embraced the navigator system within their communities, meaning embracing the idea of being a liaison for residents that are navigating within the healthcare settings on our campus and also beyond campus. And so congratulations to Carla, Tatiana, Christy, and Cookie and that team for scoring at a gold level, being one of, I think it was 26 communities that achieved gold level. So please help me in congratulating that team. One update in regards to public policy. We've talked about this a little bit before, but you may recall, because of the passing of the One Big Beautiful Bill in the federal government, one of the areas that were drastically cut was federal funded Medicaid. So what that means is that they were applying more pressure to the state level to fund the Medicaid program in their state. So for us in North Carolina, we were looking at a $300+ million cut to our Medicaid budget annually. Okay? So after that came out, the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services Secretary said, well, because of those federal cuts, we need to do something. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut all funding to all Medicaid nursing homes by 10%. And so that was supposed to go in effect in October. But as you can see there, the General Assembly said, no, you're not going to cut Medicaid. We're going to figure this out. And by all accounts, they're saying that they're going to be able to fund the Medicaid program likely from cutting elsewhere in the state budget. So we don't have a definitive answer yet, but we're hoping to hear in the near future. We're hoping that Medicaid funding is not cut to all of the enrollees across the state of North Carolina. Anybody have any questions about that?
How
Yes,
much
ma'am.
would it affect us, a 10%?
So I think we talked about our rate was $264 a day for every one Medicaid resident we take care of here at the community. And a 10% reduction would be so I know that doesn't seem like a lot, but multiply that times the 18 we have that are accessing their Medicaid benefits right now. For each day, 30 days in a month, and multiply that times the year, it adds up. And I'll tell you that, and I've said this many times over, the funding we receive for every one Medicaid resident is about $150 short of what it costs to care for them each day. So that's just adding on top of the loss that we take for every one Medicaid resident in the health center.
How many Medicaid residents do we have?
What, is it 18 today? 18. Yeah. 18 today. Okay, again, update on our online reputation management. So we've been, obviously focused on this for the past couple of years, and I think we are at the highest point we have ever been. 853 points, and that's compared to a best-in-class 948, so we're getting closer to that best-in-class mark that we're trying to achieve. But this is because we have had a goal within our leadership team of each month trying to secure at least 5 positive reviews. And for the past several months, we've been able to do that. And that has increased our score, as you can see there, over the past several months, which is fantastic because how many of you utilize reviews to, whether it's going out to eat, trying something new? And so that's the idea here, is that positive reviews will help, bring more prospects to Whitestone as consumers are looking for senior living communities or healthcare settings, within senior living. Okay?
Mark, can I clarify about Medicaid?
Yes.
I just wanted to mention about the Medicaid piece. Our Medicaid program here on campus, it's not a direct admit Medicaid. So our Medicaid program was established so that we had a route, the direction for our residents, whether you were independent living, now you're assisted living, memory care, or potentially you've been long-term care for years in the care center, that if you exhaust your assets, there's still a level of care there to help provide for you. So I just wanted to make sure that we're not advertising to direct admit Medicaid. That program is here as a way to offer a direction for our residents who have been here with us for years.
Thanks for clarifying.
Yeah. Yeah, the fact is more seniors are running out of resources, so it's absolutely a benefit to have that program here for our own residents. Bob?
Mark, how do we compare with the other LCS facilities?
That's a great question. I don't have an answer for you right now, but I will certainly help to find that answer. I know that we frequently hear from like my boss, Jacob, and Jill, who you guys met at the last board meeting, that we are doing very well in terms of our online reputation management compared to other communities that they oversee in their portfolio. But I'll try to get a better answer. So over the next 3 months, we obviously have more goals than this, but I just wanted to highlight a few. Number one is we've had a great year so far. Let's finish the year strong in terms of occupancy and really managing our finances, being good financial stewards. Employee engagement, recruitment, and retention is always a priority for us, and specifically more so in the healthcare setting because we are still utilizing some agency staff to fill empty positions, and we ultimately want to eliminate that because we want our own staff to be taking care of our own residents. There's an ownership there that doesn't quite apply to agency or contract staff. And then we're in the process of hopefully finalizing the 2026 operating budget for our November board meeting. So we have some initial drafts that we're working on and working through some other items, but we're getting close. So that'll be coming in the next few months and introduced to the Finance Committee before that November board meeting, and then finally at the board meeting seeking approval from our board of directors for the operating year of 2026. Next up, Archna has some announcements. Yeah.
Oh. Good evening, everybody. I am here to announce about the resident satisfaction surveys coming up. They are here. We will be hosting 2 events, one this Thursday and one next Thursday, for you to come and get some great food and take the survey in person, okay? Now, I sent out letters and flyers in your mailboxes this past Tuesday, whatever the 11th was, last week. So you've gotten those. Please come to those events and fill out the survey. We have a live grill show out here by your very own favorite, Travis. It's in the fellowship hall. We'll have the porch open as well. And you get some mocktails created by Betsy. Okay? The next one is next Thursday, right before resident council. And we will be giving out egg bites, coffee, mini parfaits, and surveys, which you can fill out on the spot. If you are unable to make any of these events, the surveys are available with Alexis starting tomorrow for you to take home, fill out. Please put them back in the envelopes, seal the envelopes, and then turn them back into Alexis to be mailed off. Now, you get a raffle ticket if you complete and return your survey for some fantastic prizes, which I have selected myself. And Nikki helped this afternoon. Any questions? Yes.
Is it one survey per unit? Or
One survey per resident.
per thank you.
Yes. Hey, resident, the survey's pretty fast, about 5 pages. Front and back. You just won't take that long.
They were all set.
It's not 5 pages, that was a joke.
Really should be more cocktails at that point.
Any other questions? Yes, sir.
What time on Thursday?
Oh, Michael, sorry. Oh, look it. Oh, there it is. He did put that in there. It's from 3:30 to 5 here in the Fellowship Hall this Thursday, the 18th. And then the next one, that's not what I said. The next one is on the 25th from 8:30 to 9:30 a.m. right before resident council. So please stay for resident council. Oh, Oktoberfest, that's on there too. So we have Oktoberfest next Wednesday. Did you want to announce about that?
Go ahead.
Oh. Sorry.
She's on a roll.
Oktoberfest is next Wednesday, that's correct. It's in the Care and Wellness parking lot. You can buy, please RSVP to Gina by end of day today. If you're attending, if you are bringing a guest meal tickets are $20 per person. You, as a resident of Whitestone, do not have to purchase a meal ticket. The meal tickets come from Alexis. She can give those to you at the front desk. We accept cash, check, or credit card.
I'm really excited about this event, by the way, and we have a local brewery that's gonna come with a beer set up. See, Stuart's excited. We'll also have some wine and stuff as well, but Joel's actually got a buddy that's bringing out a smoker. We're gonna smoke chicken. Betsy and her team are doing sides, so I would get in on the fun today if you haven't done it yet. And you can dress up. See, Nancy's gonna dress up. I know that. Donna will too. Donna will dress up. And the Oktoberfest little dress.
Later.
I don't have a little dress. You can wear it.
I can't get into my Lido.
Get your Amazon.
I was just gonna say, I'm here.
Yeah, Amazon.
Get your leader
I'm here till the end. If you haven't RSVP, come see me.
If you have not RSVP'd yet, Gina's right there in the back room, so please stop by and see her if you are interested in attending the Oktoberfest. Yes.
Do residents need to have a ticket after we make the reservation with Gina?
No, ma'am.
No ticket necessary for residents.
Just RSVP for a head count.
Yeah.
Give the time again.
It's 4 to 6.
Oh.
It's not on the time's not on there, but it's 4 to 6.
4 to 6, Wednesday the 24th. Not this Wednesday, but the next Wednesday.
It's on the calendar as well, your IL calendar.
Beverly?
Question about the wristbands with the CWC. Will current occupants receive them as well?
Yes.
as new arrivals?
Yes, again, it's voluntary. They'll be asked if they want one, they could get one. If not, that's okay. And then obviously new admissions coming in will have the opportunity to have the bracelets. What other questions do you have?
I have a question, piggybacking on your comment about staff investigating the possibility of adding automatic door openers.
Yes.
In the interim, maybe in addition to that, I'm wondering if it might be a consideration to reduce the spring tension on all of the existing doors, like in the therapy center and places like that. They're very difficult to open and keep open and try to get through there with a walker or a cane or a wheelchair.
Yeah, the question is related to releasing some of the tension on some of our doors because they close pretty quickly. I know that that's something that Joel and team can adjust to a certain degree, but ultimately they all need to be able to close and latch. So that's where the problem lies too, is slowing it down, but slowing it down enough that it still latches. That's the important piece. And if you have a door that you recommend we look at doing that to, please complete a work order or let Joel or I know and we'll try it out. Okay?
It's more an issue of pulling it, of the tension, trying to open it.
Yeah, either way, the tension closing or opening is still because of that closer that needs adjusted. And so you can only adjust it so much so the door will latch coming back. So, but if you have some doors that you recommend we take a look at, in the meantime, please let us know or contact Joel or fill out a work order. Sarah.
Mark, would you just take a minute to explain the alarm box in the IL lobby and why it needs 24 hours?
Yeah, and so that's funny. Joel and I were just talking about this. To repeat the question is, Sarah was asking about the alarm panel that's in the Independent Living South building in the lobby, and that it frequently beeps. And so I text Joel about this, when was it, last Friday? When I walked by and it was beeping. So one of the problems that we have is we have vendors that come onto campus that do some work for us in some of our residential apartments, in some of our apartments, period. And they are either sanding, they're painting, they're doing something, and they remove the smoke head. That's what causes that panel to go into an alarm. Or they don't do anything, and then the dust collects, and then it causes the alarm to go off, period. So Joel is going to work with our vendors on trying to come up with a better solution when they're in working, that those alarm panels are not going off all the time. But that's typically what happens when you hear that beeping. It's a supervisory alarm, because if it was an actual fire alarm, all the bells and whistles would be going off.
Would there be a way to shut it off sooner? Sometimes it goes forever.
Are you talking about the beeping?
Yes.
So the question is, would there be a way to shut it off sooner? Joel, you can maybe answer that question, because I don't think you can turn off the beeping. You can't silence that, can you?
So the whole purpose behind a supervisory and a trouble alarm is not being able to, if you silence it, that it comes back online so you don't forget it, because they want you to remember that. So right now there's a trouble, and I don't know if you guys checked y'all's email, but I did send out an email today regarding the beeping in the aisle south. But I sent an email to the rest of the email group. Simplex is the company we use for the Linville fire alarm system. There's a smoke head outside of my office that has a bad head. Okay, they are supposed to come tomorrow to repair it. So that's why the system is beeping. So unfortunately, there's no way to get that to stop. We can silence it, but it will come back.
Could we put it outside?
Well, that's just how fire alarm systems work. I wish there was a way. The only way to get it to shut up is to take it completely out of the system, which involves a lot of time. Okay?
So, Joel, we typically have some of those smoke heads in inventory. Do we not do that anymore?
So Simplex is different. They're proprietary. So all their parts and stuff you have to get from Simplex. All their panels, only Simplex can work on. So that's what we're dealing with when it comes to Simplex panels. The other panels, we deal with modern systems, which we can get parts more available. So that's what I'm running into with that.
Okay, thank you. Joe?
It seems like the system's making an alert to a group of people who have nothing to do with correcting the alert. So how do we get the people to hear the beeping that need to hear the beeping?
Well, they are hearing the beeping, like Joel and the plant operations and security team are getting those alerts.
Okay.
Just unfortunately, everybody else that's down there by that panel is